Hey, what's the deal, people? We back, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in once again for another classic season of Legends Week. Y'all know if y'all have been tuning in, y'all know a full week. You know, the 7 days I call it a season. So this is season 3 of Legends Week, man. And if you've been tuning in, you know the legends have been coming out, man. They've been reaching out. I've been able to get in contact with them all, man. So one legend at a time, man. We knocking them all out, paying homage. Especially here in Pennsylvania, starting here in Pennsylvania with all of our legends, all of our hoop legends, man. So tonight we got a special treat. My man Irvin Williams, Germantown Academy, legend. You know, all through Philadelphia, Sunny Hill leagues, and all that kind of stuff, man. You know, he's going to tell you his story. Villanova legend. Then he was drafted to the NBA. Toronto Raptors, all that kind of stuff, man. I'm gonna let him tell his story. It's definitely going down, man. So at the end, y'all know the format. I'm going to have a nice little Q&A with my man Irvin Williams. So if y'all have some questions, y'all could start, typing them right away. I'll be writing them down in my notebook, or just, save your questions to the end of the broadcast. And please try to stay locked the entire time. Get your snacks, get your drinks, because this is definitely going to be a treat, man. Once again, we going down memory lane with another legend, another Pennsylvania high school basketball legend, my man Irvin Williams. If I'm not mistaken, he's class of 92. Nelson, Chief Justice, 92, I believe. Chief Justice, this your era too, big dog. So I'm gonna need you. I see you tuned in. I'm gonna need some questions from you, man, because I know you were there, man. You the one with all the information. 93, yeah, that's what I thought. H, yeah, I guess H and M's same year as H and everybody. Yeah. So yeah, man, we're gonna wait for my man Irvin Williams to join. Just like I said, if you guys have any questions for Irvin Williams, make sure y'all write him down, or you can save him for the end of the broadcast. Nope, I don't know about y'all, man, but I've thoroughly been enjoying this whole Legends Week thing, man. I'm glad that I had this in my heart to do. Y'all can see the response has been crazy from the legends, from everyone, man. Rashid Brookenborough, Flip Murray was the grand finale of season 2. Billy Owens, man, John Allen, all the legends, man. It's been fun, man. It's been really fun. The response has been crazy from the legends. They've been excited to tell their story. It's been fun, man. It's been a blessing, man. Appreciate it. And y'all know, just like I tell the legends at the beginning of the interview, my one of my whole things is, even before this, Big Stars Lost Tapes. Y'all know that's a big part of Raw Sports. I'm the archive king. I collect all the old games and, post them on the website and on the YouTube channel. So that's always been something that I've been passionate about. But with this, man, just, paying homage to the legends, helping to solidify their legacies. I see my man Irvin Williams just joined, waiting for him to send me the request. And then also, for this current generation, man, just to educate the kids, because I never want the legends to be in the building and kids just seeing them, just thinking they, just some old heads. So gotta pay homage, man. Here we go with the legend. The legend, Al
What's
Williams.
up, man?
I'm blessed, man. Blessed by the best, man. It's a pleasure to have you on, man. How you doing, man? How's everything for
Oh,
you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I like
Hey,
your
good.
platform, man. I saw the joint you did with Jared Curse.
Of course, of course.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's
appreciate
what's
it,
up.
man. It's a pleasure to have you on, man. My goal is to, one legend at a time, man. Just kind of run the gamut from all the years. Try to, do my best to get in contact with all you guys. God, thank God for like social media and individuals like my man T. Wallace that helped me to, connect with you.
Yeah, yep.
Just one legend at a time, man. Just want to pay homage to all you guys. Two quick things, man. Just want to mention two of the reasons why I do this, man, is just want to do my part to pay homage to individuals like yourself to help to do all I can to solidify your legacy. Because I never want people to forget about Irvin Williams and all the things that you accomplished. College and professional, I mean, of course, the world knows about that, but high school hoops and Sunny Hill and all that kind of stuff holds a special place in our hearts forever.
Yeah,
And I
for
just don't
sure.
want these young kids to forget about your legacy, man. And also, another thing is current generations. I just want to, I do want to do my part to educate these young kids as far as, the individuals like yourself that paved the way for them. So when kids and their teens see you in the gym somewhere, I want them to pay homage to the legend. So that's what I'm here for.
No, I appreciate it, man. That's important. It's always important. It's always good too. When you get old, you know what I mean, washed up and old, it's always, you know, and that's the part about giving back. You know what I mean? Once you give back, you're always gonna be relevant because that information always need to be shared and that time need to be shared. So what you're doing is perfect, but it's up for us, the so-called legends or whatever, to always, you know what I mean, stay grounded and make sure we never forget where we came from and what we came up through, so we can always give back to the younger generation.
Of course, man. So thank you so much, man, in advance. Just, I can't say thank you enough just for your time, for your support and being here with Big Star, man.
Yep.
On Legends Week Season 3. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. Just to let you know, also, little housekeeping. If Instagram is notorious for the reception going out and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So if we have a bad connection, where you can't hear me or vice versa, you could just X out of it. Just press the little X and exit. And then and then rejoin, and then but hopefully we get through it with no issues. And then at the very end we're gonna have a little Q&A. I'm gonna just turn it over to the people and let the people ask you some questions.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. So I like to start out with a fun thing I call 10 random questions, just to kind of get us warmed up. You seen the format. You already know what's coming.
Yeah.
All right. So you grew up in the 80s. So everybody was WWF fans. So who was your favorite WWF guy back in the 80s?
My favorite WWF.
Or WWF, NWA, whatever federation you want to go with.
NWA, I was a Ric Flair boy, and I love the Road Warriors.
Yeah, legends.
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah. But it
was something different.
WWF, I was Tony Atlas. I like Tony Atlas, and you know what I mean. So yeah, that might be my WWF favorite.
No, I'm not sure if it was just me, but it was almost like night and day. WWF and NWA was like night and day. WWF was more clean cut, but NWA was just rugged.
Raw.
Raw.
They had the black ropes. You had it sound every time you heard a body slam, it sounded like you was hitting the concrete. Yeah, that was raw, dog.
It seemed like it seemed like they needed to put that joint after midnight. Like that joint didn't need to be on in the morning time.
Yeah.
Favorite Rocky. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
3.
Rocky 3 with Clubber Lang.
Yeah, Mr. T. That boy, when he came in, I was scared for Rocky, and I wasn't even I was scared, but he sold that part. But I was real big on Rocky 3, the Eye of the Tiger, that whole soundtrack, like all that. I like that one.
No doubt. All right, if you had to pick your era, like a '93 All-Star team from your high school years, graduating, to play against a year 2020 All-Star team from the Pennsylvania area, city, suburbs, and all that, who would you bring up with you, including yourself, from your '93?
Oh, shucks. Probably our 5. It was myself, Sheed Wallace, Jason Lawson, Tyrone Weeks, Mark Jackson. But I would need a 3. Rondell Turner. I need a 2 and a 3. Dang. Dang.
Hard decisions.
You know why it's hard, man? Because we all was homies, man.
Yeah.
Dang. But my man Cat Catino.
Legendary.
Cat went to prep school and came back. So he really graduated in '93. And then Rondell Turner, he was the 6'7" man.
Mm-hmm. Legendary.
I plead the 5th.
No doubt. Hey, that's safe. It's all gravy.
It's all
good, man. Too many names, man. What's the most points you ever scored in the game? At any level, high school, college, anything?
45.
45? And
45.
Where was that?
High school, Germantown Academy. We played Haverford School.
Okay. And who did? Do you remember any names that Haverford may have had? Like anybody notable that Haverford had then, or?
No, Haverford stunk, man. They team stunk, but they had a guy named Mike Zeke who actually played down the hill with us, like for our Contra Hawken tournaments and the Future Star tournaments. Like he would play as well. So Mike Zeke was pretty good, but their team wasn't good. We was 24-1 and we lost to them, man.
Oh, what y'all?
Yeah, we lost to them, man, them bums. And then we played them again, and then I had a big game.
Got you. Was that what year was that of yours? That 45
'93, my senior year.
Was that when you ended it with like a dunk last I think I read about something about a last game or something like that. I'm not sure. Not
Yeah,
not exactly sure.
I get that many dunks in high school.
Yeah, I pulled up
Period.
some articles, and I think I heard something about something. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Okay.
Um, um, City Brotherly Love, cheesesteaks. How do you normally order your cheesesteak?
Salt, pepper, ketchup, pickles. That's it.
Pretty
Salt, pepper,
simple.
ketchup, and pickles. No fried onions, nothing. As I got a little older, I would get a little mayo, but from the rip, it was always salt, pepper, ketchup, pickles.
No doubt, no doubt. Favorite TV show or cartoon growing up in the 80s?
In the 80s, favorite TV show growing up in the 80s probably was What's Happening. For me, What's Happening or The Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
What's Happening was the Raw, like that was the NWA. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But What's Happening, I was big in What's Happening, and then my cartoon might have been either Tom and Jerry or the Flintstones.
No doubt. No doubt. That's what's up. Um, what's the best player that you've seen? Throughout coming up, in the Philly area, before you got to college. One of your favorite players that you've seen, in the playground, some leagues, or anything like that.
In my time,
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Rasheed Wallace,
Got you. Got you. And
hands,
we'll definitely.
hands
Yep.
down,
Hands down.
hands down.
No doubt. Um, what's a food that you will absolutely not eat ever? Never.
Dang,
If there is
never
one.
eat. I tell you, people have. I don't even know, man. Like caviar, something. I don't know.
I got you. I
Caviar.
got you. I got you.
I ain't never have it, and I don't even know what it looked like. But it seemed
But
like it's food that people ate. I would never eat that.
yeah, but it seemed like you the type that, don't venture out with no bizarre type stuff. Like you ain't venturing out too much.
But you know what, man? As I got older and going different places, I did like I wasn't eating no raw like sushi and all that. Like if I would have like sushi, I would have it fried, like the shrimp tempura or something. But now I do like the raw sashimi. I do that.
Okay.
I'll do some of that. So as I get older and I realize it ain't gonna kill me, then I'm open for it.
No doubt. So if you go to the buffet, it's not just, the stuff that you used to, like shrimp and the basic stuff. You'll
Yeah.
venture out a little bit.
Yeah, and I tell you this, man, I'm scared of buffets, dog. If I go to a restaurant, I want somebody to serve me, man.
I
I
can
ain't
dig
the
it.
buffets, dog. Then everybody over top of the buffets.
I can
I
dig
don't be,
it.
I don't be, I
I
don't do
know
the
that's
buffet too much.
I know that's right. Um, favorite NBA player growing up?
Magic Johnson.
Magic?
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah.
Last question of the 10 random questions. What's any other sports that you played growing up besides
Football.
basketball? Football?
Played football. I stopped in 8th grade. I played for I grew up in Mount Airy, so it was a team called Glenside. They was right over in like Sheltham, and then I played for Oakland Wildcats.
Got you.
And then I played in at Germantown Academy, and I stopped in 8th grade.
Okay, got you. All right, man. So just want to get right into it, man. The format with the legends, man, is I don't want to pigeonhole you. I don't want to kind of stop you from being able to tell your story freely by me, interjecting questions and stuff like that, man. So I just want to respect your story and respect your voice. And I have questions, obviously, but I just want to give it up to you, man, and I'll interject questions along the way. But I just want to just have you start telling your story, man. Just straight from the beginning by just reintroducing yourself to the people and letting us know where the Alvin Williams story started, man.
Man, I'd rather you ask your questions, man. My story is simple, man. Growing up in Philadelphia, Mount Airy section of Philadelphia, real close, tight family, mom and pop. My dad was a police officer in Philadelphia. My mom was a seamstress. I had 2 sisters, older sisters, and very close to my family. Love playing sports. Real disciplined household. I mean, it probably was strict, but to me, they was just really over top of me. They was on my top, and they came up with the idea of sending me to private school after 6th grade, Germantown Academy, and that was in Fort Washington. So that was like when my life first started taking like a turn to see different things, experience different things, different types of challenges in life. But for the most part, man, that's my story. Like I grew up loving sports, and I grew up in a very loving, close household. You know what I mean? Where my pop was the head of the house, my mom held it down, and then my pop actually ended up getting a job for Major League Baseball,
Oh wow.
yeah, he was security for Major League Baseball, and what he did was he he would design, he would orchestrate security for different issues and different players that came in town, and then he would address through investigation, through his experience on the police force. He ended up being he was an undercover police officer for the DEA, and he led a lot of investigations throughout baseball. So at the time, it was drugs, gambling, um, a lot of some racist remarks that was made, and there's different areas. Every sport had different
Yep.
times that they go and do different things. So my dad, he was involved with a lot of those situations. So I came up in that type of household, that type of environment. But sports was my love, and academics, that came first, and that's pretty much was it, man. I just felt it in just playing sports and living life as a kid.
No doubt. So you that's a good way for me to kind of interject a question. You talked about the love. When when in your mind do you remember falling in love with basketball? Like, yo, I really love this and this can be my lane.
All the time. I never knew what my lane would be. I just love basketball. I love sports. I
Mm-hmm.
love being outside playing with my friends. I love competing. Back then, man, we competed everything, whether it
Of
was
course.
slap boxing, whether it was racing down the street, whether you're not fat. It was always that. And
Yeah.
then it was just everything. But we all compete. But basketball was just something. I remember my very first game I was supposed to have in elementary school. I woke up sick and I had like a 24-hour virus and I couldn't play my very first game. And you thought the world would end, man. I cried my eyes out. I never forget that, man. And I remember my dad was like, "You got a lot more games you're gonna be able to play." That was my first game, but I
Mm-hmm.
always loved basketball. I love that. That was the thing that got me to do it. If I wanted to go outside, I had to clean my room. I had to do my home. I had to do all those things in order to do basketball. So since I can remember, man, basketball has always been my love. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know it was my lane to play. You
Yeah.
know, I was just playing.
Yeah, because I'm sure in the neighborhood everybody played, so you was
Yep.
just everybody played, just
Yep.
like you said, everybody was competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of the players whether it was before you found out it was your lane or once you found out it was your lane and then you found yourself in more you know circles of solid players and all that kind of stuff. Who were some of the players that you found yourself looking up to or kind of admiring coming up that were in the city or in your area, city, suburbs, or anything?
Oh man, it's funny, man. It was a guy on my street. I don't know his name. He's older, but he used to go to the gym, to the playground every day. And I remember I just would hear him dribbling to the basketball court. I was so young, and I used to just run to the window because I knew that was him. And he'd be
Yeah.
going, come back. But I never really got to know who he was. But when I got a little older, the name Joe Parham, he was somebody at the playground that I would always see that could play. A guy named, he was in Philadelphia, he passed away, Chris White. He went to Roman as he played like JV, then he moved to Virginia, but he passed away his senior year in high school. We was very close. He was the first dude that pretty much introduced the working out aspect. Like he would go
Okay.
to the gym and work out. He wouldn't just play. He'd be
Mm-hmm.
working out. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, growing up, Jonathan Haynes, who I got a chance to play at Villanova with. And then I heard the names even before that, Hank Gathers and,
Of
and
course.
Pooh Richardson. And then I got a chance, Lionel Simmons and Doug
Mm-hmm.
Overton. You
Yeah.
know, these guys, Nate Blackwell, Howie Evans. Um, these guys they were the guys, man. And you go see them play. The Big Five was close to us. My dad would take me to the games. So I got to see like all these guys, man. So those were the names that I got to see play on the big stage early on. But growing up was like Joe Parham, Jonathan Haynes, Carlin Worley, Jason Worley, the Worley brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm missing a bunch of names because I was a big fan of all those guys.
No doubt. At what point did you start to realize you were becoming pretty good? Like was it things that other people said to you, your dad, hey boy, you're getting pretty good? Or at what point did you realize that you were getting pretty good and kind of a little bit better than your peers around you, possibly?
Um, Maybe like around 15, 16. Because
Okay.
when I went to Germantown Academy, it was always that stigma, kind of like, he play in the suburbs, he play in the Interact. They're not good. But
Mm-hmm.
I play always in the Hill League or Total Response League or other leagues around in the playground. So you can see how it transferred. And I think more than anything, the Germantown academies and stuff, it built my confidence. I got confidence when I went played against everybody. But everybody I played against, we grew up together. So
Mm-hmm.
it was always trying to break that reputation or break that idea that he's just good in the Interact or he's just good in the suburbs. So you really didn't know until you played against the people down the city. And that's when it happened. Playing under John Arnett and Rodney Handy and Calvin Lewis, those were my coaches growing up in the cities. And then my high school coach, Jim Finnerty, they was giving me a lot of confidence. And another coach by the name of John O'Connor gave me a lot of confidence. So I'll say about 14, 15, where I wasn't scared of playing against nobody. I was excited to play against people.
Yeah, yeah. What's describe your game for younger players watching that never saw you play, and remind individuals that were there. What type of player were you? What were your strengths when you were when you were in your groove?
Is this a trick question? You about to say no? You couldn't do that. Or I don't. You know what? It varied, man. Because I tell you, I was at that time what you called a big point guard.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My fault. Put in perspective. Like how tall are you? Just so people know.
Well, they say I'm 6'5". I'm about 6'4.5", 6'5".
Well, in basketball, you got to round up. You round up.
Yeah, I mean, well, then they sell me 6'5.5". Then
no time.
You know what I mean? But at that time, I was supposed to be like a big point guard, like a guy that can handle the ball. I guess my handle was one of my strongest points until I ran into them little guards. I always had trouble with them little guards, but point guard on my high school team, I was more of a scorer. When I played in the city, I was more of a facilitator. When I played for different things, so I like to say I was versatile. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, I created more. Well, I didn't create. I worked hard through help and everything, getting more of a jump shot, more of a mid-range jump shot. Stepped it out to the three as my career advanced a little bit, but pretty much a versatile guard in high school, college. It happened where you had my role. My role wasn't the same, so mm-hmm. I had to be more of a facilitator, play a role. And then probably my junior, senior year, I started scoring a little bit more. And then in the NBA, it was the same thing. I got a chance to play with Vince Carter and people like that. Pass the ball, get out the way, and then try to play some defense to stay in my lane. So, but that was it. Pretty much a versatile guard that played that way.
Yeah. Was it easy for you to continue to evolve and change your game depending on what the circumstance called for? Was that a smooth transition, or was some adversity with that?
No, that was always it, man. Because once again, like when I played, whatever the coach asked me to do, I'd go a game without shooting the ball at all. And mm-hmm. then I go up to Germantown Academy when I got to shoot 25 times.
Yeah.
But I always knew, like, it was always team first with me, and it was always the opportunity to play with. I play with good players. Mm-hmm. So, like, if people used to say, hey, you need to do more. You need to score more. You need to shoot. My mom used, you got to shoot more. I'm like, hold on, Mom. You don't know nothing about nothing. I got Rasheed Wallace down there. Got Cat over there. Got Rondell, Tyrone Weeks, Mark Jack. Like, J. Law. I got to pass them the ball. That's my point guard responsibility. The point guard is different now, right? The point guard got to score more. Uh-huh. Back then, I got to be the quarterback. I got to make sure everybody happy and then figure out where I come in at. So that was it. So it was never hard to adjust to that, man, because I knew what I needed to do was to help the team win. And whatever it was, that's what I was going to do.
No doubt. All right, so one of the things that I love to just dream about and think about, because I was around, man, let's go back to the Summer League days, the Sunny Hill days, Total Response. Let's share with me some of those memories, man. When I mention those things, the playgrounds and all the leagues, some things that come to mind, man. Some memories, man. Some crazy memories, man.
You know what? It was as much as we competed and tried to knock each other's head off. It was a brotherhood. It was the Sunny Hill League brought so many people together. Sunny Hill got me friends from West Philly, South Philly, North Philly, Uptown. Where I'm from, like the Hill League and Total Response League did that because it brought everybody in the city for that particular area to compete against each other. Then we start getting to know each other. Then we start hanging out. Like my closest friends came from meeting them at the Hill League and stuff like that. So the summer leagues, I remember Sunny Hill. We played at McGonigal Hall. They used to have a little stoop out there after the games. We sit out there all night and just be talking, whatever the case may be. No drama. No beef, no nothing. We just talking trash. And I remember those times the most, the after the game. The games were the games.
Yeah.
After the games and the camaraderie after we just finished playing South Philly, right? And I probably won't see them again until next week when they play somebody else and I'm playing somebody else. So just those memories of all of us getting together and competing and then chilling at the end of the games is always the best for me.
Yeah. Who were some of the players that you were just, that you couldn't, besides you playing your game, you know, before your game was there, you got a chance to watch, or after your game you stuck around? Who were some of the players that you enjoyed watching down there do their thing? And do you have any memories of anything you remember?
Yeah, man. A bunch of players, man. Like South Philly, you always had my friend Kevin Slaughter. He was a monster down there, and you know Kareem Towns. Kareem Towns was a hell of a player. I enjoyed watching him play because he was so smooth, and he could score the ball, shot the ball. He had a crazy following, but Jonathan Haynes was a guy that I looked up to. I liked his rugged style, and you know I liked the way he played. And once again, that Germantown team, John Arnett had a lot of players, so they had great players. Aaron McKee, you know the Warley brothers. Once again, you had all them players, and then getting down there, they had a Baker League too, man. So we used to sit there and watch the Baker League or the College League when Pooh Richardson would come back, and Doug Overton and Lionel Simmons and Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball, Luke Graham,
all in
like
the same gym.
All these guys, man. Mike Anderson, like these guys, man. Like the city was filled with so many players. Like I'm sure they filled with so many players now, but everybody was under one roof. Like you go down McGonigal Hall, you will see every single body in the city, whether they're watching or they're playing, and there was no environment better than that.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Tell me, you briefly mentioned Harnett, John Harnett. Tell me, you know, from your perspective, you know, what he meant to you, and you know what your experiences was with Harnett.
He meant everything to me. He was somebody who, when you got old enough, you realized his sacrifice and what he did. Wouldn't charge you a dime. Spent all his time, pick you up, dropped you off, you know, invite you to his house if you ain't have a place to stay, open the gyms up, and just give you tons of knowledge through basketball. And he created an infrastructure where we started policing ourselves. You know, I remember going down there as a young buck, and Doug Overton's down there, and they're pretty much running the workouts. They're putting the teams together. They're doing the stuff. And John Arnett is just echoing what Dave already told us, but John is running the show. So John Arnett, what he provided is so different nowadays. If John was a business guy today, John would be a multimillionaire, right? Because of his ability to influence, his ability to be compassionate enough for the younger kid, and his knowledge for the game, and just the environment he set. So John was everything, man. His funeral, that's probably the last time I cried that hard, right? And it came over me with a bunch of guilt. Because as my career ended, I didn't give back to John and people like that he was helping out as much as I felt like I should have, right? And not being as in touch with John before he passed. And those things bother me to today. But John meant everything to me, man. And that was basically it, man. That was the guy who helped me get to where I ultimately got to. He's a big part of that.
No doubt. It's I just have the memories of, you know, when I would go down there to watch, I would see him standing there and just see all the players surrounding him. And you know what I'm saying? I would always be like, man, that's the guy right there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how dynamic his, you know, everything, the levels of him as far as everything that he did and how much he meant to people. Because, you know, when you're in it, when it's happening, you know what I'm saying? You kind of take some things for granted. But just knowing, like, all these years later, he was so important to the city, man, and meant so much and did so much for so many people, man. Like,
I wish with John, right? Like I wish I was this person, right? That because he needs to be honored, and it's never too late. And now we think about it, man. Thoughts are just going through my mind. He needs to be honored to a degree where it's true and it's authentic, and people really understand when you talk about the love of it. When you talk, like, he had to love it because nobody was giving him anything, right? Nobody was giving, and he was spending hours and hours and hours of days and for a long portion of his life, since before even me. I heard Pooh Richardson and those guys used to work with him and stuff like that. So, man, like, yeah, man, he gave the city something, and he gave basketball something that I don't see nobody else doing it because the agendas are different. You know what I mean? So that was it. But yeah, you got my brain storming with this John Arnett.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. I mean, I'm always thinking about him, and just like you said, man. I mean, he was a staple that was just like he meant so much, and he did so much, and his reach was so far, and he affected so many. I don't know anybody that came up through that era that doesn't mention John Harnett. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Whether you liked him, because a lot of people ain't like him, right?
No doubt.
They wanted to get to the gym, and John would sit there like, nah, like, you can't play. or he'll kick you out the gym. John used to have his little 22 or 25 gun. When people start talking trash, he put that thing on the table. It was like, look, like it was funny, man. Like John, I didn't see John tell AI to leave. I didn't see him tell Doug. I know Doug Overton left, Mark Jackson, Malik Rose. Then he didn't have me sitting on the side. Wouldn't let Sean Colson work out. Wouldn't let Cat work out. So John was crazy like that. But then people start resenting some of that. But at the end of the day, you can't go against numbers, man. John had the number, and John had the love for it. That you wasn't going to defeat that. So he kept that thing going strong, man.
No doubt. That's what's up. Appreciate you sharing that, man. That's special. Who's one of the toughest players that you like during those days? You know, all the leagues and everything. Who's one of the toughest players that you had to go against
in Philly?
Yeah,
man. Rashid Bey. Rashid Bey was tough as hell, man. Rashid Bey, Kev Slaughter, Kareem Towns, he was tough. Red Smith was tough. It was a lot, man. So you know what? It was one of them things where anytime you could get it.
Yeah, like no days off.
Yeah, at any time. I remember the first time I played against Rashid Bey, and I didn't know who he was, and he gave me work, and I remember I was like, damn, who this little, like, I didn't know who he was.
Stocky, strong.
Yeah, quick, fat, like he was. But you know what I mean, those are the days but you're gonna figure it out, right? You're gonna figure it out, and I can't wait to play against him again. Aaron Owens, even like people know him from AND1 basketball, but he was somebody, man, that he gave me problems down 16th Street in the college league one time. So yeah, it was a lot of players, man. It's a lot, man, a lot.
Yeah, that's what's up. So let's transition. Tell me, let's talk about your high school journey. And you played all your years at Germantown Academy, correct?
Yep.
Got you. So tell me about that experience, man. From just tell the story from 9th to 12th grade, or however you want to tell it. And tell me about some of your teammates, coach you played for, and memorable games, highlights, everything.
Hey, man. Well, ninth to 10th grade, we wasn't good.
Okay.
We wasn't good at all. And GA was a school where more than basketball, everybody thought I went there because of basketball.
Okay.
Like it was rare for a black kid from the inner city to go to a private school, pay tuition and all that stuff if it wasn't something behind it. And my dad just had a vision where he wanted me to experience something different.
I understand.
So he always tell me, like, you're going to have to deal with these type of people growing up. So learn how to do it at an early age. So that was something that it was always a struggle for me academically, socially, even with our family. When I talk about our family, it was a structure I love. Me going to Germantown Academy put everybody at sacrifice. My sister had to pick me up, sacrifice, their own lives. My mom and dad had to sacrifice finances to get me there. And tuition back then was $5,000 a year. And I was about to leave every year because I couldn't afford it academically. So it was a lot of things that was a struggle for me. So sports was the one thing that kind of helped me get through it. And my high school coach, Jim Finnerty, once he got there my 9th grade year, he was really good. He let me play. He was supportive. And that was it, man. And then playing, like, the game was easy. The game was easy. I played with somebody I looked up, his name was LT Talley, that helped me as a youngster. But from 9th to 12th grade, we just gradually got better. It was no talking at that time of transferring and play for a better school and nothing like that. The only times I was thinking about leaving is because tuition-wise, I couldn't pay it.
Okay.
So that was it, man. And we competed. My senior year, we got much better. We started playing in tournaments outside of the city, outside of the state. Got some more recognition.
Do you remember any crossover games, games that weren't in the Interact where y'all played, any other big games?
Yeah, we played. Actually, we got a chance. We will always play public schools.
Okay.
We will always play public schools. So we played Alany a few times in my high school career. Played against Mark Jackson when he's at Roman. We scrimmaged them. We played him when he's at William Penn. We played Boone. There was always experiences, man. The white boys, man, they used to be a little. They used to look at me like I'm supposed to be the savior. They didn't know I was shaking on my boots too. I was like, hold up, man. I'm scared to death too. I'm a little nervous. But you always wanted to play good against the inner city schools. Always,
Yeah,
'cause that was where you get your rep. But
of course.
I had great teammates, man. I had really good teammates. GA is one of them schools where people play multiple sports.
Okay.
So I had players that went to school for football. They played basketball. They played baseball. So it was just one of them things where it wasn't a basketball school. It became more popular later on, but it wasn't a basketball school. But we had good teammates, and we all played together starting because we was bad in ninth grade, but we all was young.
Yeah.
So that was that process, man. But more important, not importantly, but more so with that basketball side, the academics, the social life, it was a challenge. You see in today's times, man, like those are certain things that I witnessed, not to that degree or the intensity, but you witness some discrimination. You witness things like that at an early age that my pop put me in that platform because he knew in life you're going to be faced with these challenges. So that whole experience going to GA was something I look back at and it was really beneficial for me.
You know, my man James Nelson Stewart, high school historian and writer, like myself. He mentioned the Norristown Germantown Academy scrimmage was great. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I think we might have beat them.
My god brother played. Remember Harry Allen? That's my god brother.
No, I don't remember him.
Harry Allen and Derek Perry. I think.
Hell yeah, I remember them, man. I'm joking. Harry Allen was nice as hell, dog. He went to Memphis. Harry Allen, he was another big point guard.
Yes, he was. Big H, yeah.
Big, man. But I'm going to tell you this. When I first bumped into him, it was down Conshohocken, and they beat us, man.
Legendary. Yeah, I was there, dog. I was there.
Killed my dreams, man.
Listen,
killed my dreams.
With the history of the league, with y'all being known as Sunny Hill juniors or seniors?
We were seniors.
Sunny Hill seniors, like that wasn't supposed to happen. A team from the suburbs wasn't supposed to beat y'all. That legendary team y'all had, dog. That was a great game, man. I was there, dog.
That might have been juniors because I think we scrimmaged them after that my senior year.
Okay.
Then anyway, man, that was a Saturday morning, man.
It was a Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, Larry Mayo killed us.
Yes. I think Larry had the game high, I think he had 30 or something like that.
Dog, he killed us, dog. He killed us. But Harry Allen was dope. Derek Perry was tough.
Yeah.
They was nice, man. They
yes,
was nice. That's when I realized it ain't sweet.
Yeah, the suburbs wasn't sweet.
Yeah, they was good, man.
For real. Hey, what did you guys have a rival in the Interact League?
Yeah, Penn Charter.
Penn Charter was your rival?
Penn Charter was our school rival.
Okay.
Football, basketball. They had a guy named Courtney Batts, and they had another guy, Michael. Dang, I forgot his last name, but they had some good. But it was more of a football rivalry.
Okay.
Our biggest challenge was Episcopal. Episcopal was tough, and that's two other names I forgot to mention: Pooh Allen and Gene Burrows. Like them dudes used to kill us. They killed us. I didn't beat Episcopal until my junior year.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they used to beat us. But Episcopal was our tough matchups when we got better.
Gotcha. Well, when you think back, it's funny. I tell people like I always wanted to bump back in the, rest in peace, being Kobe Bryant. I always wanted to bump into Kobe, like either at a game or just somewhere. Because, regardless of the NBA celebrity status and this and that, high school hoops in the Philly area always holds a special place in your heart. I always wanted to bump into Kobe and like from the crowd and yell, Kobe, remember that Norristown Lower Marion game at PW? And then I'm sure he would have turned around like, who said that? You know what I'm saying? That always, holds a special place in your heart no matter where you go in life, man. So I say all that to say, with all the places that you've been in life and all the levels that you've been in, like what are a few things that high school basketball and just like the Sunny Hill experiences, what are some special places, like what are some special things that you'll never forget about those moments, man, that you'll always appreciate?
It's just what you said, high school, man. It's everything. That's where it was back then, it was pure.
Mm-hmm.
It was still pure. You play. Only time you played if you did the right things. If you had to do your work, you had to be responsible. You had that. You had the accountability. But then that's the times that you hanging with your boys.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no bills. There's no money involved.
Yeah.
The girls. You know what I mean? You first start dating girls and you get a little fame and recognition. Well, not fame, but you get a little recognition. Now the girls talking.
Or you got your name in the paper, your picture in the paper.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Hey dog, Friday night Friday night games, I'll run downstairs on Saturday morning just to
Yes.
see Williams 2, Williams 4, whatever it was. I couldn't wait, and I used to cut them out.
Yes.
I
Yes.
cut them out, put them on my wall, man. That's all those things, man. It meant so much. And then for me, it was conversation sometimes. My family used to come to all my games. So all those things. And it wasn't until like college or pros, the thing you dream about and you finally reach, now your family don't come. Now it's a disconnect. Now you're looking at this person to see what they want. You're looking at that girl to see if they really like. It's a whole different ball game. High school was still pure, man. So that piece, that's why Kobe would love it. That's why Sheed love it. That's why AI would love it. Because those moments right there, man, it ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing like it, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Hey, another thing that was big back then in the 80s and 90s, which, because AAU pretty much kind of took over everything now. Kids ain't on the playgrounds like they used to. But a big thing when you were coming up in the 90s, 80s and 90s was camps. Well, what are some camps that you played in? Was it ABCD or different camps? What were some summertime camps that you possibly got invited to, if you remember any?
Well, invited was 5-star.
Okay.
5-star Holmesdale and Nike camp. Nike camp was supposed to be the top 100 players in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And then my going into my junior year, they broke it into ABCD camp.
Okay.
And they had the top 100 players. So I was like, damn, so it's top 200 players.
Yes.
How they going to get another 100 players? So that lets you know right there the politics of it, who's who, what name. So that was a camp. But my favorite camp, I went to John Chaney Sunny Hill camp when I was a kid, man. And once again, it was pure, man, because you play for the love. It was a lot of discipline. It was a lot of love, though, and there's a lot of teaching. Mm-hmm. And it was just good people around. So that camp right there had a guy by the name of Rick Shinholster, who was very good, one of my favorite counselors. Yolanda Laney, like a woman coach. I mean, there was so many people there, but that John Chaney Sunny Hill was my favorite camp. But when you got to the politics of it, 5-star and Nike camp, and that's when that was.
Where were they held at? Do you remember the locations?
The 5-star?
Yeah.
Holmesdale, Poconos.
Okay,
Poconos. So big population of New York people. New York, Baltimore would come, and Philly.
Yeah.
And then Nike camp was in Indiana.
Okay.
It was the year Mike Tyson got locked up. I remember us being there.
Yeah.
And Tyson got locked up. He was in Indiana, and everybody's talking about going to go see him in prison. All that. That was the hope. Everybody could go see him.
No doubt. Who are some of the names that you remember? It's different. Everything was different, man. There was no social media, no YouTube, nothing. So I mean, we had Street Smith magazine. You didn't really know who these players were. You may have heard about them, but, if your school played a national schedule, I don't know. But who were some of the players that you remember seeing or playing against where years later you're like, oh, my God, that was Paul Pierce, or whoever. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? What players do you remember?
Well, she was the number one player in the nation.
Of course.
He was the number one. And that was going into our junior year. Jerry Stackhouse. So him and Stackhouse was 1 and 2, 2 and 1. That's how he was going back and forth. So that's the first time I ever seen Jerry Stackhouse. We was playing, and Jerry Stackhouse had to do a reverse dunk from a little bit inside the foul line in a game. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, who the hell is this? But as a guy named Randy Livingston, who was supposed to be, he got hurt early in college.
I remember Randy Livingston. Was he the McDonald's All-American?
Yeah, he was the number one player. He was like 9th or 10th grade, like the best player like almost in the country in 9th and 10th grade. But he ended up getting hurt. Mm-hmm. Went to LSU. Played overseas.
He had the knee issue. He had ball head, knee issue.
Yeah,
mad hop.
Ball head.
Yeah, I remember Randy Livingston. Yeah, LSU for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
He was tough. So locally, you had Ty Weeks, but the people I didn't see, it was one guy named Kwame Garris who went to Illinois, and he killed me. He was the only person that killed me. Mm-hmm. But I saw Jacques Vaughn. I saw Stephon Marbury. He was in 8th grade. Stephon Marbury was in 9th grade at Nike camp. And that was only for the top seniors. Wow. He was there early, getting busy. Yeah, He was tough. That's probably the person right there. I was like, who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? And he was all Grant Hill and those guys were our counselors.
Oh,
so
snap.
Grant Hill was like, huh?
I said, oh, snap. That's crazy.
Yeah. And he used to be around. He used to always be like tagging around like Grant Hill, and they had a guy named Junior Burroughs that went to Virginia. We had a lot of players. I don't know if Theo Ratliff. No, it wasn't Theo Ratliff, but it was I I think his name is Irvin Johnson. He played in the NBA for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Uh-huh.
He played for a while, but they had at that time the college counselors, the college players were our counselors.
Okay.
So Grant Hill was there, but I was like, damn, they go Grant Hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, but those are some of the players, man. There was a lot of players in that class of '93. But Stackhouse and Sheed, they were the top. Jacques Vaughn, and yeah,
That's
Jacques Vaughn
awesome.
was tough too.
Good memories, man. Hey, what it was AAU wasn't
Oh
big.
shucks, I forgot. AI was there.
Oh
tripping.
snap!
Yeah, AI was on my team. I'll tell you a funny story.
What?
So,
Yo, that's crazy.
AI was on my team. So
and put in perspective, what year was this, and what grades were y'all in or going around or going
I
to?
was going to my senior year, and he was going to his junior year. So he was in 10th grade and I was in 11th grade going to 12th grade.
And did you know about him prior, or you just met him there? Just they know nothing about him.
I'm looking at him, so they got the starting team. So I started over him, right? So, but the reason why I started is because I was a senior. So it's for the top seniors going to seniors. So they gave, it was a pecking order. But everybody knew who he was. He was like the top junior. And he was just weaving in, same way like he played at Georgetown, weaving in and out. And it was like, yo, he really a football player.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, he played like a football player, man. He ain't got no moves. He's just weaving in and out, but he gets somewhere and then he just dunk that thing on. I'm like, damn. But then you start seeing he had a following, like people wanted to be around him. So that's how it was. Like the best players, they always had a couple players, like people being around him.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, man, that's when he fell into that situation in high school, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's the boy that was on my team.
Yeah.
And Nike can't, but he probably wouldn't even remember me. Yeah. But I definitely remember him because the way he was playing, he was explosive, and he ain't passed the ball. He ain't passed the ball at all. But he was nice there too, though.
Yo, that's
yeah,
crazy.
AI was there.
That's crazy. So do you remember following him? Not following, but just like when he got to Georgetown. Like, oh, they go to ball.
Hell
yeah.
Hell yeah. I had to play against him.
Oh,
so when he's at Georgetown, he's at Georgetown. I'm like, he all right. I'm still thinking he all right because at Nike camp I didn't get a chance to play against him. I was playing with him.
Okay.
And we had shifts, so I never was on the court at the same time with him. I'm just watching him. And I'm like, he little, just stop him from getting there, whatever. And then when I got to Georgetown, when he got to Georgetown, I said, he was a whole problem, dog. And he didn't stop giving me nightmares yet.
Yo, that's crazy. Oh man. So AAU was did you play any AAU? Was that as big back then or not that big? No AAU.
Yeah, it wasn't big for us. They had AAU, they had some teams that started coming along, but for us, it was that Sunny Hill.
Okay.
So our Sunny Hill team, like you saw when Harry and them beat us, and Larry and them, they beat us, Sunny Hill would have different levels. Like they would have the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We broke all the three teams up, and they would be the top players, so-called top players in the city at that grade. And other teams would come in the city and play us.
Okay.
So we had the Concha Hawkins tournament up at the Donald Friel tournament, and then we had a Future Stars tournament that Sunny Hill ran at the end of the summer.
Okay.
So we all came together, played. We had monster teams, but we didn't travel. She and other players started venturing off a little bit, playing with some other teams that traveled a little bit. And we did all get together one time and go down to Maryland and play in this tournament called the Charlie Weber tournament.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, we had a good run with that, man. But other than that, Sunny Hill didn't allow it. He wasn't with it. He used to always preach to us, watch these Johnny come latelys, because once again, she was the man. So a lot of people, all the coaches would come. Dean Smith, John Thompson, Bobby Knight, Coach K. Everybody was coming to the city to see she, and we would get recognized because we all played under the same roof, as I mentioned before.
Of course.
But Sunny Hill saw that, and he was like, "Yo, a lot of people are gonna be coming to your doorstep. They're gonna try to take advantage of it." So he tried to keep us in the mix at home and not go all the way out. So that was one of his initiatives. It is what it is with that, but that was the reason why we didn't travel much on the AAU side in Philly.
Got you. So now revisit. You mentioned the Donald Friel a little bit. Let me know what your experience was at the Donald Friel. You know how many different times you played, and like some of the teammates. I guess you already mentioned, and just that that last game. Oh my, no, that was your junior year. So did you play again the next year?
Actually, that had to be that was it. Yeah, we lost. That was my senior year.
Okay. So yeah, tell me about your full experience after the Donald Friel and everything you remember about that league. Who you played against, anything?
Yeah, up and down. up and down. Because I remember when I first started playing, they they it was so many players that was good for all age levels. So they used to have just like one team, but everybody couldn't play. So it was times when I was there as a freshman, not getting off the bench, and I was there. You know, I was playing like behind Kareem Towns and stuff like that. I don't think Rad played up there though, but like John Haynes, these guys, I couldn't get off the bench, and then it started where I started getting a little bit more. I started getting better, getting my game a little tighter, and then we started playing. And then my teammates, once again, it was myself, Reds, got Terry Johnson, Pooh Allen cousin, Tyrone Weeks, Mark Jackson. She played with us for a little bit, but Sonny Hill kicked us out the league one summer. So
What?
he kicked us all out, man. We went to 5-star camp instead of playing in the Sonny Hill League game. And he kicked it. Yeah, Sonny Hill would kick us out all the time and give us a reinstatement letter. He'd kick us out at the end of the summer and give us a reinstatement letter in the wintertime so we could play back the next summer. But he'd kick us out the league. So he kicked Sheed out the league. And she was like, you know, Sheed ain't coming back. She's like, forget that, man. So that's why he didn't play on that team when we lost to
oh, you're right. He wasn't there. She
didn't play.
There. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of good players, man. Rondell Turner.
Yeah.
Rondell Turner used to come off the bench and get MVP of the tournament.
Yeah.
So that tournament helped me out a lot with my confidence because we had players from the road runners from Jersey, other teams, but more so it was back again. It was all the teams in Philly. Like Cat would play on the Northeast team. Different player. Like you had the Norristown team. Mm-hmm. You had a lot of talent that came through. So we didn't need to go nowhere because all the talent was right there.
Yeah. What do you what memories do you have from that game against Harry Allen and all them guys that game? Anything? Is it a blur? You kind of remember anything?
I don't. I remember Harry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing against another big point guard. I remember Larry Mayo killing us, and I remember just losing. It was one of them games like, all right, we about to blow these dudes out, and it never happened. Like, they was on us, and it never happened. And then I think they even start running away with it. And I remember after we lost, I fell on the court. I fell out like we just lost. I lost my life. And I remember somebody coming up to me it was like, yo, get up, man. Don't ever let nobody see you do that. Yeah, let me go. I'm gonna go in the crib because it's getting dark out here.
Oh, yo, that's a funny story, but you felt like you was at the casino and lost all your money.
Hey, dog, I felt like my world ended, dog. I was like, because I'm telling you, man, I was like, I can't believe like Norristown. Yeah, I hadn't even heard of Norristown. But they was good. It's just a little dark, real
no,
quick.
You good. You good. I'm on your time. We good. This is good stuff, man. Yeah. That's funny, man. That's hilarious.
But yeah, I don't remember that game. I just saw Derek Perry too. He got a son.
Yeah, that's right, DP. That's right, DP. That's my bro. That's my big bro.
Yeah, man. But yeah, they was tough, man. But I just remember it's one of them games. We all been through those games, dog, where it was like you think you come in there, underestimate.
Yep.
And you underestimate, and then you know it, before you know it, you in the game, and they ain't going nowhere. And not even knowing they coming to beat us because we supposed to be. I'm sure people thinking of us that we supposed to be the ones. But yeah, they was on our top. That was a good one though.
That's what's up, man. All right, so tell me about it. I know how the college recruitment process, everything's changed, man. It's like, all these years later, now you got kids on Instagram, I want to announce my 80th offer, you know what I'm saying? But back then you had your Nike shoebox with all your letters, you know what I mean? So take me through the college recruiting process for yourself and then what ultimately led you to Villanova.
It was funny, man. I remember getting my first letter, man. My ninth grade we lost the Penn Charter on the last. We was 0-21 in the 2 years in the Interact, my first 2 years, and we just lost the Penn Charter, and my coach. It was the last game of the season, and he was like, "Yo, I got something for you," and I was like, "What's that?" And he gave me the letter, and I just see an orange S on it. I'm like, "Wow!" I'm like, "What's this?" He was like, Syracuse University. I swear to God to you, man, I had no clue. I was like, what? What's? It's like, this is a recruiting process. Like, schools will send you letters when they're interested in you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know nothing about letters. I didn't know nothing about recruit. I didn't know nothing about it. I was just, but once again, you got to pipe down because that's the letter they sent out to anybody.
Yeah, that's
right.
That
wasn't
whoever's everybody can say Joel.
Yeah. And so what happened that year was me and Sheed had just got put in the USA Today as like two top freshmen. We both played freshmen. I started as a freshman. So we got put in the USA Today, two top freshmen in Pennsylvania. That was it. The article's about that big, and that was it. So I'm sure they got the list, the mailing list, and just sent it out. So I was getting Syracuse.
And the USA Today ranking, that was before the ESPN Top 100. The USA Today was the thing as far as ranking and stuff.
But fam, this wasn't even no ranking. This was a note saying it's two freshmen that play in Philadelphia.
Oh, that was just a shout out.
It was a shout out. It wasn't no ranking. I had that thing on my wall too. That thing's about that big.
They just gave you a shout out.
Yeah, that was a little shout out.
By the way, shout out to the freshman down in Philly.
Exactly, dog. So
that's funny.
But that's what happened. And then I mean, as it went on a little more letters. But then by the time you get to your junior year, go to some of the camps, now you start getting some personalized letters, right? All the schools locally.
That's all about to ask you. When did it start to get personal and serious?
My junior year.
Okay.
My junior year it got personal. Schools, all the local schools, other than John Chaney. John Chaney had a rule where he didn't start recruiting until going into your senior year.
Okay.
And I know John Chaney since I was going to his camp when I was 10. And never knew my family, grew up with my mom and dad. Like, I knew them closely. But it wasn't until my junior year that they start coming. And then you start having your home visits, right? And all that type of stuff. So all that went on. And I knew in the back of my mind how close I was to my family. And I love Philly. And I wasn't going to go too far if I was ever to leave Philly. And then that information got out because these recruiters, they do their homework. Their coaches do their homework, and a lot of schools backed off
because they knew they heard that you wasn't going to go far away.
They felt like UMass, Bruiser Flint, and John Calipari. I remember Bruiser Flint calling me. He was like, "We're going to stop recruiting you because we're getting word that you're not leaving Philly." But at the end, Duke came into the picture, Indiana came into the picture, but ultimately, I wanted to play with John Haynes. I wanted to stay local, and then quietly, myself, Rashid, Tyrone Weeks, and a guy by the name of Jamal Robinson was all talking about going to Villanova together.
Wait, what? Whoa, rewind.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So it's me. Well, I'm not gonna put me first. Sheed, Tyrone Weeks, Jamal Robinson, who actually went to Virginia, 6'7" guard from New York. And myself, we was all thinking about going to Villanova. We was talking about going to Villanova together.
Wow.
And
that was legendary. Dean
Smith came last minute because she and Tyrone Weeks was like this. They still are like this. So wherever that was going to happen, wherever that was, and Dean Smith came in after they beat Michigan and swooped him up, and that was it.
Wow.
My coach Paul Hewitt, man, he called me. Me and Weeks was in Pittsburgh at a Dapper Dan All-Star game my senior year, and my coach Paul Hewitt at the time called me crying on the phone. I thought something happened. He said, "Rashid's not coming. Have you heard?" I was like, "What? He coming? He coming?" I was sure, man. He's like, "He's not coming. He's going to North Carolina." I was like, "Oh man, you tripping, coach? He's not coming."
Oh, that's crazy. Hey, hold on 1 second. I forgot to mention at the top of the hour, Instagram only gives us an hour at a time to go live. So what we're going to do is this. For everybody listening, everybody watching, you're in for a treat, man. We're going to pick up with this story, and we're going to talk about Villanova, the draft, and, going to the pros and all that kind of stuff. You're tuned into Alvin Williams, man, Philadelphia legend, Germantown Academy, Villanova. So, Al, what we're going to do is I'm going to end this one, save it, and then I'm going to start a new one, and then just rejoin. We're going to pick up where we left off.
I hope it works. It took me about 2 hours to log on this thing. All right. Do I press this X right here?
Yeah. No. I'm going to end it.
Okay.
I'll exit. And
all right,
then just in a minute or two, I'm going to start a new one. Just keep watching my page, and I'm going to start a new one.
All right.
Hey, what's the deal, people? We back for hour 2 of the Alvin Williams Legends Week Season 3 season opener interview, man. This joint has been crazy, man. Shout out to my man T Wallace, man, who helped me put this interview together with Alvin Williams, man. It's been legendary, man. From hearing that Alvin played in camp with Allen Iverson, knowing that he could have possibly went and played at Villanova with Rasheed Wallace. Some legendary stories, man. So this is part 2. We're going to get my man back on, and we're going to continue the conversation, man. Hey, so you left off so just kind of, you don't got to retell the whole thing, but you just left off and you were saying that the coach was upset. You found out that Rasheed Wallace was going to North Carolina. Pick up there, man. That's some funny stuff, man.
He wasn't as upset. He's about to have a panic attack. You got to realize this coach, right? So John Haynes was already at Villanova. John Haynes got a younger brother named Warren Haynes Boop, who played at FLC. He was younger than us, but he used to cut all of our hairs. He used to cut our hair. We go. So once the coach found out that she used to go out there and get a cut, Tyrone Weeks, Jason Lawson, myself, he used to be over there acting like he getting haircuts. So when we came over there, he would be there. So it go real deep, probably from like our sophomore year in high school. Like he would be around. Like we'd be around, he'll pop up. But it was always the connection. So my man Boop, he used to cut our hair and he would call me, be like, yo, Paul Hewitt over here, man. You want to come over? I'm like, nah, man, I'm a chill, dog. I don't feel like getting recruited today. But that was the whole thing. So we was all going. I like on Sheed's visit, I went up to Villanova. I'm hanging out with Sheed. John Haynes gave us his car to drive. Sheed jumped in the driver's seat like he could drive. Almost had 3 accidents going down. I'm like, Sheed, can you drive? She like, no, I can't drive. Don't you jump behind the wheel? You can't even drive. Like we were going to Villanova. Ty Weeks was up next with his visit. Like we all was there. Jamal Robinson had already visited, and we all said, and that, I'm the only one who went there. But through the grace of all that, I met one of my closest friends, my brother Jay Lawson. Jay Lawson had committed to Georgia Tech, and then Bobby Cribbins had left and went to South Carolina. So Jay Lawson decommitted and then came to Nova. So that was one of them things where, it's always, it happens for a reason. Jay was my roommate and ended up being my best friend, man. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, I know college is special because you wind up meeting some lifelong friends in college.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? So did you have any experience or any history with Jay Lawson prior to that? Like with him he went to Alany, right?
Yep. So I played against Jay.
Did you have any experience with him, like in the leagues and everything, and you knew him prior to that, right?
Yeah. I played against Jay, but we go way back because we played up in Philadelphia together. Like Jay, we was all like it was myself, Cat, Katino Mobley, Sean Colson, like Sheed, Ty Weeks. Like we kind of like was more like that. Mark Jackson was very close to me, like Mark, but Jay was on an out, like Jay stuck to himself. Jay from Logan, he stuck to himself, but he would play on these teams with us. And Jay was always quiet. Jay always looked evil. Yeah. But we got a chance to play in the youth games. Philadelphia used to be this thing called youth games. I'm not sure if you remember, but it was like 15 and under, but it was all sports. It was basketball, it was track, not all sports, but certain sports. And it was like a little Olympics. Yeah. And that was the first time we all played with each other at that time, man. Like Jay Law, we were 15. We had Jay Lawson and Rasheed Wallace on the same team. Wow. You know what I mean? And it would have been Ty Weeks, but Ty Weeks was a year too old. But we had a guy, Red Smith. We had Mr. Ellaby's son, Dave Ellaby. We had a hell of a team at a young age. So that was my first interaction with Jay. We lived together. We lived in the same dorm on Temple. So on Temple's campus. So that was my first interaction with Jay. But I knew Jay throughout the years.
Got you. So you finalized on Villanova, and what sold it? Well, obviously you said staying close to home and everything. Was there anybody that was kind of like your neck and neck, like second choice possibly, or it was strictly Nova?
Temple, more so Temple. But that John Chaney came to my house. John Chaney came to my house. Like I said, I had a long history with John Chaney with my family. I went to the camps as a youngster, played through the leagues. My dad used to go down there. They used to all play 3-on-3 half court, eat crabs. So I was around John Chaney for a long part of my life.
Gotcha.
And I remember after his visit, and John Chaney, once John Chaney comes to your house and talk to your mom, talk to your family, and you ain't going nowhere else. Your mom saying you going to Temple. That's what it was. He the way he did it. And it was one of them things where he, like I said, he didn't recruit you before your senior year in college and high school.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was a lot of interaction. But once he came to your house,
right,
you saw the love, you saw that, and like you could be mad all you want. Oh man, he just jumping into the game and late. But as soon as he talked to you, you forget about all that, right? So, but John Chaney called me, and after his visit, I was like, I can't tell Coach Chaney no. I can't tell him no. And he called me and was like, don't let the relationship that we have and the relationship that I have with your parents make this decision. He said, come here because you would like to come here. You feel it's a good fit. And that pretty much gave me the out. Because I really didn't want to go to Temple. I've been around Temple my whole life.
Yeah.
And Villanova was the Big East. Like I said, I had a close friend in John Haynes. At that time, somebody I kind of looked up to. And we ended up being very, very, very close. But that was a big reason I went to Villanova.
Gotcha. So tell me about your Villanova experience. I'm just, start from the beginning and just, anything you remember from Villanova, man.
Same thing, man. It's like anything, ups and downs, hard as hell. That was my freshman year, senior year to freshman year was the biggest transition in life other than having children.
Yeah,
right?
if you can tell me a lot about that, because it's I got my young boy Sam Sherry on here. He's a junior going into class 2021 out in the Harrisburg area. He's really good. But it's some high school players watching this and that may watch it later. Talk about that transition, man, because it could be a shock going from your senior year to college. Talk about the transition, man, and what you went through.
Yeah, I didn't have a preparation for it as far as basketball wise. Basketball in Philadelphia, basketball in my high school, I could do whatever I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I had a great coach, great teammates, but it just wasn't on the same level of intensity as it was in college. You get recruited and they tell you how much they love you, and then when you get there, they tell you how much they don't need you because they got somebody else, right?
Wow.
And they treat you like that, right? They treat you like that. But you're a young kid not knowing all the hard work that go into it. Going into my freshman year was the first year I ever thought about quitting basketball. Like I was ready to quit. And luckily I had Jay Lawson, and I had John Haynes to help me through like a tough time. And I was only ready to quit because all the hard work that I was putting in my eyes wasn't getting rewarded. I was looking for somebody to pat me on the back. Hey man, good job. And yo, you kicking butt, you doing this. But it wasn't that. It was do better. And you're like, what? I just ran 5 suicides. You want me to do better? Like everything had to be better. And it was just like that intensity that I wasn't used to coming from that. Now, Sunny Hill League and all that, the yelling and the discipline and the harshness, I was all good with that. But the fact that it didn't seem like it was no growth, like you wasn't getting better, you wasn't that, just because the coach wasn't validating it. So that transition, academically, it wasn't hard because GA prepared me for it. Time management, socially, it was very similar to GA, a small private school, Catholic school. It was majority white. So I was used to the environment. Basketball was just the toughest transition for me. But it came together because I had great teammates again. And once again, I forced myself to fight through all that. So that was my first interaction, my first I remember getting on campus, we had to lift weights, dog. And I see Jay Lawson coming out of there. We weren't even registered. We weren't even enrolled at Villanova yet. It was like summer. We was going up there, and he throwing up outside. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you sick? He's like, no, man, they in there killing me. And I remember I had to walk through that door like, oh my God. I ain't never lifted a weight in my life till I got to college. It was like that. I remember watching Jay Lawson throw up while he bench pressing and him fighting through it and just seeing that work ethic that it was going to take. That's what it made me realize, like, damn. But once again, it's different now, man. The coaches' interaction with the players is different, but the mindset is still the same when it comes to that recruiting. They tell you what you want to hear until they get what they want, and then it's a different ball game. So you got to be mature enough to be able to handle that.
Yeah. At what point did you become comfortable and start to almost put the saddle on the college experience and kind of kind of take control, or did that ever happen, or
I
what?
never got comfortable
Okay.
because I'll tell you another story. When I was playing behind John Haynes, and when John left, I had 2 more. I had my junior and senior year, and I remember going up to the office talking to my coach, and he told me, he was like, "It's your show now, man. Like, I'm happy for you. Like, it's your show. You earned it. Da da da. And we about to go now. We got to go play pickup. We had open run. We had to play pickup. When I walk in the gym, guess who I see there? Stephon Marbury. They was recruiting him. I said, God dang, he just told me it's my show. If this man come here, I know it ain't gonna be my show if he decide to come here.
My gosh. And he was still in high school?
Yeah, he was getting recruited. He was there on the recruiting visit. So, that's they recruit. You come up there for unofficial, you play.
You play with some of the players. Yeah.
Kobe came up. It was all like, there's a lot of, like, because, Kobe lived right close to Villanova and Ardmore. But when I walked in, when the coach told me to my face that it was going to be my show, and I walk into the gym, and I see Stephon Marbury, and Stephon Marbury was getting busy. So, if he come here, it ain't going to be my show. So, I never could be comfortable. I can never be comfortable. I had to work, but I worked harder. At that point in my career, I knew how to work hard now. So it wasn't a problem to work hard. I wasn't going to get discouraged. Now I was working hard because I kind of want him to come so I can kill him. Right? But I also know the business of it. They can get ready as soon as they get you. So,
of course. But
I never got comfortable.
Was it a psychological thing that the coaches kind of like, kind of setting that up, or you know what I mean?
They play more mind games than anything. Like, you could have 30-point game and you could win the game. A coach would come down there with the edited film and make it seem like you had the worst game in the world. Wow. And it's mind games. It's a lot of it. It's mind games. Never so you get content. It's always about the team, and it's all about seeing what they got. Because when the end of that season comes and you playing in that tournament and it's one and done, you got to be mentally strong, right? Yeah. You got to be ready for that. You got to be conditioned. But more so it's psychological. And a lot of those coaches, they play the psyche games with you.
Got you. So I was doing some research, and just it's my era as well. So I remember you played with obviously Jonathan Haynes, Jason Lawson, Kerry Kittles was a teammate for a little while.
Man, killer.
Kittles.
Killer.
Talk about some of your teammates you played with, man.
You just hit them. Jay and John, of course, I can't speak enough about them, but Kerry Kittles, man, he was the first person to show me. I remember I used to go up to Villanova and play, and I had some cousins living down in projects in North Philly, and I used to go down there, man, and be like, yo, y'all don't know this dude, but this is a dude named Kerry Kittles, man. He's a monster. And I used to go back and tell Katino Mobley about Cat.
Yeah.
Kerry wasn't a high recruited player. Like, he wasn't. He just built into the player at Villanova, but he was somebody that really showed me. I had a move. I used to call it. Well, it wasn't my move. It was my comfortable move to get my shot. It was a Tim Hardaway between the legs crossover.
Back. I remember you doing that. That was your joke. The back. Yeah.
That was all. That was my move. You take that away from me, it was a wrap. And I remember I went to Villanova and I see him. I said, "Yeah, watch this, man." He not only took it from me, I chased him, hustled back there. Then he dunked it on me. I said, that ain't never happened to me in my life. I've been dunked on, and I got the ball stolen, but I ain't had both of them happen on one time.
In the same play.
Yeah. And Kerry was that dude. Kerry was the boy that after practice, as hard as I just told you practice and stuff was, Kerry used to go work out on his own after practice. So Kerry was that type of athlete. Had a guy named Chuck Cornegie who was very strong, transferred from North Carolina State. Eric Ebers, Ron Wilson. And then as it went on, we played John Celestin, Howie Brown from Pottstown.
Yeah, Howie Brown, yep.
And then Tim Thomas was the other big name. Tim Thomas came my senior year as a freshman. It was him and Kobe, 1 and 2 best players in the nation. And we had a lot of great teammates, man. A lot of great teammates that I learned from and helped my game grow.
Yeah. What's one of your most memorable games throughout your entire Villanova careers? Couple games or an experience that you'll never forget.
I remember when we beat UConn. We was bad. We was a bad team. It was 2 times UConn. UConn was always good from when I was there. They had Ray Allen, they had Kevin Ollie, they had Donnie Marshall, Danielle Marshall, and we were just coming around. We started off slow. We were just coming around. And we beat them at home. They were number 3 in the nation. Beat them at home, and they ran the floor. They stormed the floor. And I remember our coach was like, you know, when you're a good team, he's like, what? He's like, when the next time you guys lose and the other team run the floor, that's when you know you're a real good team. So he humbled us. But I remember us going out that night, and I remember we missed everybody on the team, missed class. We thought we won a national championship. And that was a big time game. And then the other game, John Haynes, unfortunately, he had got hurt, and that was one of my first starting games. And we played UConn, and they had a 73-game winning streak at home at the Gamble Pavilion, and they were #1 in the nation. And we mopped them up. We won by 20 on their court on CBS. Ray Allen and Carey, that was the marquee matchup, and Carey had 37.
Ooh,
and I remember they were saying the scores, everybody point total. And it was like at halftime, it was like Kittle's 25, and we all was in the layup. I'm like, oh, we got in trouble.
Oh, when they announced it on the announcement.
Yeah. So yeah, those are two memorable moments. We won the NIT. I mean, people will laugh at that, but for us, that was a stepping stone for us to get to, you know, always in the top 10. We usually was in the top 10 after that. But those two UConn games were two games that I remember being big ones.
Got you. What was it like? You know, just the DuPont, man. The history of the DuPont. Did you really enjoy playing in DuPont?
Yeah, it was cool. It was. I mean, it was our home court. It was a small gym. It was a fans on campus, so it was cool. We didn't take too many L's there. We took some L's my senior year, but my sophomore and junior year, we don't think we lost at home. But the DuPont, it was cool. It was it's nothing like it is now. If you've been to a Nova game lately, that's a whole
Not
nother
since they did the renovations. I just remember seeing all the construction on campus, but I haven't been back yet though. But
so they got your mindset, man. They got your mindset. They honoring the alumni. They honoring the older players. They got like a little Hall of Fame around it. So it's really dope to go. Yeah, it's dope. It's Villanova on a whole nother level now. But the DuPont was cool when I was there.
Yep. Hey, one last thing about the high school days. People always want to know who's some of the toughest players or some of the toughest matchups that you, like one-on-one matchups that you had throughout your Villanova career, you think?
Villanova career?
Yeah.
AI. Syracuse had a dude named Michael Lloyd Lawrence Moten. That usually wasn't my matchup, but it's a dude named Michael Lloyd at Syracuse. At Boston College, it was Howard Isley. They had a guy, Scooney Penn, that was really good. Providence, they had a guy named Abdullah, but of course, Sham God.
Of course.
Seton Hall had this dude named Brian Caver, but Danny Hurley, and then they got a guy, Shaheem Holloway.
Of course.
St. John's had Tariq Turner and Felipe Lopez.
Oh, the Dominican Mike Jordan, man. Oh my God.
Yo, nobody bigger than him, man.
Felipe was bad, man.
Nobody bigger than him, dog.
He was dope, yo. Felipe was dope.
it was a lot of good players, man. But Felipe was dope, man. Felipe was real dope.
For sure. All right, so another thing that I want to hear about that's really special. Take me back to your NBA draft night. Kind of what that experience was like for you, man. What it was like for your fan. What was going through your mind? And then when you finally heard your name called, what was that like?
Man, that was one of the most high and low days of my life. I remember I was down the Happy Hollow, playing in the outside league. I was playing in the outside league, and I never forget. It was this fat boy, man. He kept heckling me, man. You ain't gonna get drafted. Sham God better than you. Sham God better. I'm down there, and the draft was that night.
So you hooping, you down there hooping, and then the draft was coming on.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna go in the first. I wasn't gonna go early. So the draft started like at 7. I think the game was like at 5:30 or something. So I got there, whatever, and watching the draft, and I didn't get drafted till late, man. I remember my agent calling me, and I only worked out for 3. I worked out for the Milwaukee Bucks, Portland Trail Blazers, and New Jersey Nets. Milwaukee was Jacques Vaughn, and New Jersey had they was looking at Brevin Knight. So what I was a pawn pretty much. I come to find out that they was really looking at these guys, and they wanted to see how they was going to perform against a bigger guard. They were smaller guards, so they would bring me in. I was like the contender, the punching bag, pretty much. You know what I mean?
So, the sparring partner.
Yeah, I was a sparring partner, and Portland was the only team that didn't do that. And I had a really good workout, and they ended up drafting me 48th. But before that, I called my agent called me. Was like, I'm not sure Vancouver expressed some interest, but they have the 53rd pick, so you may be drafted around 53, and that was like the 45th pick. They said, well, Washington is up next, but they called me and said they don't need a point guard, so they won't be taking a point guard. And then I'm looking at it as a 46th pick. Washington Wizards. I don't even know if there's a bullet to the Wizards at that time. They draft out of Providence, Sham God.
Wow.
I lost it. I went and kicked my door down. After that, I lost it. And I tell you this. So Jay Lawson, right? It was before that. Jay Lawson came over my crib. So me and Jay in school, we came out the same year. We working out. We training together. Me, him, and Kat. I had the key to Germantown Academy. And we used to go there at 12 o'clock at night, especially on Fridays, because he's like, yo, Fridays, that's when everybody partying. No, if we working out at 12 o'clock, we getting better. So that was our thing. We used to always work out 12 o'clock at night because Coach Finnerty gave me the key. So that was our ritual.
Yeah.
And we would work out from 12 to 2, and that was it. So we knew. So Jay, he not getting drafted. So Jay come over my crib. He crying. Me and Jay crying. And I still got this picture. I can't find it. We look over in the corner, right? Kat crying. Kat's still in college, right? So I look at Kat like, yo, man, what we got to do? What we got? And Kat's still in Rhode Island, about to kill anyway.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that got me laughing. I'm looking at him. He start crying. I'm like, oh.
Like, why are you crying? Everybody crying.
Why he crying? Kat in there. Hey, if I can find this picture, I'm going to send it to you. It's a Kat crying dog. Oh, my God. So, yeah, that story happened. I got drafted, but that day was an up and down day, man.
Yeah.
So much, but it's so much to go on, man. Like from the agents having deals for what a team needs, for what the expectation, what the scouts, how they view you. And it's funny because I got a chance to go back because I was a scout for a team for the Sixers and Portland and the Raptors, and I got a chance to go back to some old reports with me on there.
Wow!
And you got to see. I saw what some of the scouts was saying: can't shoot, slow, maybe all right. It was one report that said he was going to be a good NBA player. Only one out of like 15 reports I read, only one report said it. So it goes to show, man, a lot of that stuff, it carry weight, but it really don't mean that at the end of the day.
Yeah. Every kid that's solid in basketball, whether they're good or not, every kid longs. What you want to be when you grow up? I want to be NBA. I want to be NFL. And you think you watch the draft. You see somebody name call. You see them with the bling on. They get up, they hug their parents, and you think it's like, man, this guy is awesome. This is so fun, worry free. But it seemed like that's a lot of stress, man. Whether you top 10 or not, it's just so many levels and so many different things on your mind now. It just seems like it's stressful, man. Like it seems like a really stressful process.
It is, man, because it now becomes so many people involved, right? And once again, the business of it is so highlighted. It waters everything down from the love of it. And I remember my senior year, I was going into my senior year, the first quarter of the season, I was projected to be 14th overall pick. Mm-hmm. And after that, that's when I started reading. I never read that stuff. It wasn't until Kerry Kittles got drafted by New Jersey Nets the year before that I was like, I might got a reality to be in the NBA. I always wanted to be in the NBA. Always was a dream. But it was never something that was a real reality for me because I was always told, you better do something else. The NBA, no. Yeah. So it wasn't never a reality. But when I start really focusing on that, my game starts suffering. My performance was bad. And I dropped I was 14th, supposed to be 14th projection. And I almost didn't get drafted because I start stressing out over that, where I didn't have any control over it. And then that day of it, once again, it's a lot of stress behind it as well. But, if you do the right things and you stay on course and you surround yourself around the people that is truly out for your best interest, then that process will be that much easier. It's still going to be stressful because it's something you put your life into. Yep. But you got to surround yourself with the right people, gather the information, and just understand that it's not after you perform and play, that's the only thing that was in your hands, and that's it.
No doubt. So tell me, just to kind of sum up, tell me as much as you want to, or I can ask some questions either or, just about your NBA experience. So you get there, and so what team initially drafted you?
Portland Trail Blazers.
And how long did you stay there? And how long did you stay there?
I got traded my rookie year.
Okay.
Another funny story. We just had a good game. And the coach told me that, you know, the team liked me. He said the biggest thing in sports and in pro sports, you always want to have a coach that believes in you, and you want to have an owner that's going to take care of you. He said you got both here in Portland. And I joined up, Sheed was there. So I had a brother in there. So I had a great time. I had an opportunity to play. I was playing with Kenny Anderson, J.R. Ryder,
Wow.
Brian Grant, Avita Sabonis, Jermaine O'Neal.
Legend.
Like we had
that was a great team.
Yeah, we had a hell of a team. We had a hell of a team. And right after he told me that, I got traded. He told me I wasn't gonna get traded. I got traded. So it was one of them experiences. But that was the NBA, learning the business early on. Then I went to Toronto, not knowing much about Canada. The Raptors nobody even knew about the Raptors pretty much.
They wasn't popping. Yeah.
Not until Vince Carter got there. But that's when everything clicked for me. Vince Carter got there. We got a new coach because I wasn't playing much. And I got opportunity. Tracy Grady was there, but Tracy left. And then we had a lot of good vets. Charles Oakley, Del Curry.
Yeah, I was looking at the rosters from like 2, 3, 4, and all that. Dog, you like during your years there, like Muggsy Bogues came through. Like you played with some legends there, dog.
Just sitting there with Muggsy, Oakley, Kevin Willis, Antonio Davis, Doug Christie, Del Curry, and everybody was coming.
Antoine Jameson came through, right?
No, Antonio Davis.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Antonio, yeah.
So Vince and Antoine Jameson got traded for each other.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. And we had D Brown. Yep, so we had a lot of vets. That locker room with all the stories, man. Do that. Oakley cool with Jordan. D Brown played with Larry Bird. Then Mark Jackson came there. Point guard Mark Jackson. He came there. It was a hell of an environment for me. I got so much information from them dudes, man.
Would you ever kind of be like how did you keep you cool and not get starstruck and be like, dang, they go Mark Jackson, dang, they go Charlie. Like how do you keep you cool and just try to be like, yeah, what's up, my man? Like how do you do that, man?
Respect. It was always respect because they'll grind you up. Like you walk in there with some BS on, they're gonna kill you. You come in there, your car not clean, they're gonna kill you. You come in there like it was.
Ain't nothing changed. Just like high school. Just like ain't nothing changed.
Same thing, man. But I tell you this, man. Charles Oakley's one of them dudes. He held everybody accountable. Then he invites you over. He's a cook. He's a chef. He can really cook. Invite you over his crib, cook for you, take you out. Never pay for anything. If you feel like you got an appearance, yo, man, you can't wear those t-shirts and them jeans and them boots all the time, man.
Yeah.
Get a suit. Well, where I get a, let me take you. I'm gonna take you to my tailor, get you a suit. Like it was always schooling. It was a fantastic time, man, for the Raptors. And then we started winning a little bit for that time. Vince Carter exploded on the scene, and that was it. But my overall NBA experience was up and down, enjoyable. I did have a few good years. Luckily, I was ready when my time came. But I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot through the business, and I learned a lot on the court and off the court.
Yeah, like basketball wise, at what point were you feeling good? Like were you like not just happy, but that your game was going, having some fun games and having fun. When were you having fun and you stuck to you playing good?
It wasn't until my coach changed. Lenny Wilkins got there. Mm-hmm. I remember I used to tell my friends all the time, I was like, yo, I signed a 3-year deal for like whatever. I signed it. And I remember I was like, yo, this is the most money I ever made, and this is the most unhappy I am. Okay. Because I signed and I wasn't playing good. I wasn't getting much time. And then the coaching change came, and coach believed in me. And I was playing. And I was feeling good. And right when I was about to turn the corner, you turn the corner when you bring the ball down the court, or you got the ball somewhere, and the coach is yelling, they telling you what to do. You got to stop them. Don't let them do this. So now you on people's radars. Yeah. Then when certain people speaking to you on the court or saying certain things to you on the court, when you're going out, things are differently. So that start coming around 2001, 2000, and the reputation. You start getting calls that you wasn't getting before. The referees have different conversations when you start getting your notoriety and you start getting on that level. Mm-hmm. And when I started getting there and feeling good, and my knee didn't hold up, and that's when it went down. So, but I had a good moment where I felt it was turning around for me, right where I wanted to be. But it was all good though. That's all part of the game, man. So probably around 2000, 2001, where I was like, yeah, it's about to be my show.
Yeah. What do you remember? Like one of your best games or best performances, or a performance that you not best, but just a performance that kind of sticks out to you.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing was it was a series because you start getting your name and you start getting your credibility during the playoffs,
Uh-huh.
postseason. So many games during the regular season, everybody can, you know what I mean? You know what I
Have a
mean?
good one. Yeah.
Everybody can have a good one. But my playoff series we played against the Knicks, and I got an opportunity. That was our first playoff game, first series that we won in franchise history, and I played good. I played good. My regular season average got doubled during the playoffs, so things were just flowing for me, man. And it was one of them things that was really a memorable moment for me. And I think it was defining for me to move forward. So that moment, not one particular game, but it was that moment playing against. And then we came and played the Sixers, and that's when the Sixers beat us, and that's the year they went to the finals.
Got you, got you. What's like one of the most enjoyable experiences about being on that level? Coming out the locker room, seeing all the fans, you on TV. You at that level. What's when you think back about your experiences and your travels, what's one of your most memorable or enjoyable experiences about being on that level?
Unfortunately, fam, like I never got to enjoy none of it when I was doing it because it was like
Mm.
I'm playing ball, and I didn't realize I didn't enjoy it until it was all over,
Right.
right? Stuff that you miss. Like I remember when I first went back to coach for the Raptors, and I was on the court working with DeMar DeRozan, and I could smell the popcorn, right? I could smell that. I could see people coming into the stands. I could see them being excited to see a DeMar, right? Nobody knew who I even was. So that time was around, but I was like, damn, man. And I used to, enjoy this because this right here, I never got to witness outside. It's packed outside, ready for people to come in to see
Yeah.
you play,
Yeah.
right? We coming through the tunnel. When we get there, it's getting filled up. So you don't get that feeling. So I never got a chance to enjoy it. But the most enjoyable times during that was with my teammates. I had great teammates. So that's the part that I miss most. The bus ride after a game, land on the plane, take the bus to the hotel. All right, where we going? We going out tonight? Where we
Mhm.
going to eat at? All right, meet here. And then all those type of things was really cool because once again, we had very good vets and we had vets that played 15 some years. So they knew everywhere and everything and
Mhm.
everybody. They gave us access to everywhere we wanted to go. So those moments, the camaraderie with the team was the most enjoyable time for me.
Yeah, what's a crazy Vince Carter memory that you may have, whether it's from practice, a game, just something that he did that was crazy, a move, or just a highlight, anything, just anything Vince Carter related that's
I thought you when the triads in Toronto was about to run down on him at his club.
what? Wow.
Nah, it was fun. Vince used to have a club in Toronto.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a club and that thing was popping. Vince was other than AI, he was the only one that attracted, generated that much attention worldwide. Like wherever Vince went, like AI was a rock star, right?
Uh-huh.
Vince was like that same. Like we used to go places and people wanted to see Vince. They didn't want to see us. They wanted to see Vince. That's what Vince was doing. Everything on highlights and everything. So he was a big attraction. So he has club
Especially
and
with the dunk
everybody.
contest and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. And he just had game, man. Like Vince had so much game, and it was effortless for him. But he had a thing when he got. It's a funny story. Nothing came out of it, but these boys was ready to run down. It was a gang in Toronto, and they called them. I don't know how true triads and all that stuff, but that's what we used to call them, whatever. But they was kind of upset with Vince. He didn't let them in the section, and
Oh man.
they were. Me and Vince had the same type of car at the time, same color, everything. And I'm sitting in the car leaving, and these two Asian dudes run up on me, and they run up on me like serious. And I'm like, look, he's like, yo. And he's like, no, I thought you was Vince. And I was like, all right, what you mean? He's like, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But it ended up being all right. But he was a megastar, man. Like
Crazy.
Vince was a megastar. Vince, it's so many stories, man. It's so many stories. But everything that you guys or the fans saw on TV was the first time we would see it because he
Mhm.
wouldn't do all that stuff in practice.
Oh wow.
When the lights hit on, that's when everything came out. So it was a surprise to us as well.
Yeah. One thing that for an individual like yourself, like we started you started telling your story about like when you started hooping and you knew you was had the love for hoops and you played ball all your life. That's all you knew. How did tell me about the closure, like when your knee, you started to have your knee issues that you mentioned, And then in your mind, okay, I guess two-part question. When did you know in your mind it was time? And then how was that closure when you knew you was about to have to step away from playing ball? Or, you know, what was that? What was that like?
I knew it was the time when I was down Drexel League and Dewan Wagner was giving us 80 and 70 points. That's that's when I was like, it's time to. I mean, this kid. It was a Cherry Hill League and it was the Drexel League. He had 60 in Cherry Hill, come to Philly and had 70. Then he had 80 in Philly and then go to 70. He had the most points I've ever seen in the summer of my life. And I was like, you know what? It's time to call it a wrap. As good as he was, I couldn't even do nothing with him. So, but that was like probably like 5 years after I stopped playing. I wasn't ready to stop.
Yeah,
I was still going through rehab.
Okay.
I was still going. I had a 10-day contract, which is another funny story, but I ain't gonna take your time up with that.
No, I have all the time. You talk, man. I have all the time.
I was at the Clippers. I got a 10-day with the Clippers off a knee, and
you don't mind me asking, what type of knee injury was it?
Microfracture surgery, which bone on bone, where my bones are just the cartilage. I had no cartilage in between my bones, so when I play jump, it always just grinding. Where normally you have a cushion in between there to alleviate that pain and stuff. So that's what I ended up having. That came from probably playing in the playgrounds, playing years, style of play.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much what happened with that, man. But I wasn't ready, man. And I step away from that story, but I wasn't ready, and I went through hard times, man. Not when you plan, when everything you do prepares you for the next day. I go to sleep because I had to wake up for practice. I eat this because I got to be ready. I go to sleep because I got to get a game tomorrow. Like, so everything, when that's not there, when the game is not there or practice is not there no more, all right, when do you go to sleep? I stay up all night. All right, when do you wake up? I probably sleep all day, you know? So I start going through some serious, like, just not being motivated, right? Luckily, my family helped me do that. I just had a baby daughter, so I had that responsibility as well. So those things drove me to get over it. And then the Drexel League, me being able to play on just, you know, some recreational stuff. But when I first got the call that I didn't get no calls from no teams, it was real tough for me to handle, man, at first.
And then you mentioned the blurb about the Clippers, the 10-day contract. Tell me about that.
Yeah, 10-day. I was out there. Katino Mobley was out there. So I was out there. I was up there rehabbing my knee, and the coach at the time was Mike Dunleavy, who was my first coach at Portland for the Portland Trailblazers. And I used to go to the games. So after the games, I used to wait for Cat. So I used to be in the back of the locker room or the back of the halls and stuff waiting for him. And one day, Mike Dunleavy was the year that Sean Livingston tore his leg up, that real bad knee injury that he had for his leg. And they didn't have any other point guard. So he just asked me, he was like, yo, can you still play? And I'm like, yeah.
Wow, just like that? Just that simple?
Just like that. Can you still play? So you see how your reaction is? So prior to all that, I'm in the stands with the families. The families.
He was like, Coach, I got my sneaks in the car.
Man, what? I'll tell you this. I'm in the stands with the families all for like a month. So one day, it was like a Wednesday. Cat called me from practice, like, yo, Mike want to talk to you, the coach. And I was like, put me on my phone. He's like, we're going to come by Cat's house and drop off the 10-day contract and the playbook. Just like that, dog.
Simple as that.
That was a Wednesday. No, that was a Thursday. I was playing on Saturday. I ain't playing a year and a half.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah. So check this out. So now, right?
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah. So Cat had the security boy named Spoon at the time. Spoon used security for Drake, everything. So at this time, he with us. He never knew I played ball. So everybody see me on the court on Saturday after being in the family section on Thursday.
You were with the friends and family.
And now I got a quarter. I got a number 24 Clippers. So none of them knew I played ball. I used to be there with my hat on, sunglasses. So I see Corey McGetty, brother, at practice one day, on Sunday. He's like, yo, man, if you can make it, I can make it. Yeah. He out there working out. I was like, yo, keep grinding, young fella. Keep grinding, man. Yo, it was the craziest story, dog.
Wow.
Overnight, dog. I'm gonna get Cat to talk to you, dog.
Please, man. I would love it.
Ask Cat about that story,
you gotta
man.
keep it going, dog. Oh, that's legendary.
He's like, if you can make it, if you can make it, I can make it. I was like,
you gave him hope, man. You gave him hope.
Ain't nobody know I played no ball at all, man. It was funny, man.
That's crazy. So how did that end? Like the contract, how did it end out?
They cut my ass after 10 days.
No hard feelings.
No, it was not. You know, the only thing, man, I regret or I wish the very next day, the very next game was against the Toronto Raptors, and I was gonna get a chance to go play. So I'm doing interviews, and mind you, I haven't played in a while, so I'm not like that. Life is over. I don't have nobody's calling my phone, no interviews, nothing. So now Toronto get word that I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And they call me. It's like, we can't wait. They had like the production, all that stuff.
Oh man.
Come back from Seattle. They took me off the plane. And was like,
oh man.
Thanks for your services.
They was waiting for the homecoming. Toronto was waiting for the homecoming.
It never happened.
Oh man.
It was funny though.
Well, I'm gonna just let you know I got 2 more questions. Then we're gonna wrap it up soon. But I just want to thank in advance all the viewers for tuning in, man. If you just tuned in, this is the 2nd hour of Alvin Williams, hoop legend, man. So if you tuned in, make sure you keep it locked because we're gonna have the Q&A with the people. So if y'all want, start getting y'all questions together, start typing them at the bottom of the screen, and Alvin Williams is gonna be your time to shine, and go have some dialogue with Al Williams. But I just got 2 more questions, man, before we wrap it up, Al. Throughout your whole journey, what has your basketball journey taught you? Just about yourself, about life, just about just in general.
Shucks, the basketball journey taught me a lot, man. It taught me to be humble. It taught me that anything at any time could be taken away from you. Like I told you, I was just feeling like I was getting my stripes, getting on some not being an all-star, but getting on some all-star ballots, getting votes, stuff like that. That stuff was something, but it could be taken away from you. And, those things are the biggest thing. And never forget that you're a human being. Like that basketball piece is a piece of entertainment that people enjoy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you got to create value off of that court, off of that field, and create value. And your value is not what other people think of you or how much you get paid or how many points you score. That's not your value. You figure out a different value and a substantial value that when it's all said and done, you're gonna be all right. Because that piece, when it's all said and done, that psychological piece is very tough, and it happens because of the way people carry themselves throughout their career. So if I could say anything it taught me was learn how to create value for yourself off of that court and being more than an athlete and really maximize that human element of you. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. And also, man, it creates a lot of opportunities for you. So when you do match that human side, those opportunities are going to be there when that ball or whatever stops bouncing for you.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate it, man. You pretty much my last question was I was going to ask you to just kind of give some advice to some younger players, but I kind of think you kind of already did that. In the way of advice for any younger players that's in high school now, do you have any particular keys to success for them? Anything else that you may not have mentioned?
Enjoy it, man. Enjoy this game. Enjoy this time. I talked to Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson, and they said something that was profound to me, man. And it's as simple as it is, don't skip any steps. You can't skip the steps to try to get there. What I see is a lot of people, they look at the NBA as a lifestyle. They want to get there to live a certain way, but that's not what it's about, right? Though the pro sports is something, it's a result of hard work. It's a result of commitment. It's a result of sacrifice. It's a result of doing the right thing all the time. So that's just a result. And what you do when you get there, that's another step. So when I talk to young kids, man, it's pretty much not skipping the steps. And now it's more so, and I know it's long-winded.
No, you good.
The NBA is there for you, and you can start preparing, you can start planning, you can start game planning. And it's like anything else, you can create a roadmap. You can start crystallizing a roadmap to where you want to get to in life. You know what I mean? And then it's a way to do that. And that's one of my initiatives. And I would love to talk to you offline about things that I want to do, because that's an initiative that I'm creating now, is a crystallized roadmap for a student athlete to attain their dreams. And even if you don't make it to the NBA, there's a lot of there's a lot of other career opportunities. There's a lot of other things that sports can provide that's not necessarily on the playing court or on the playing field. And just learning the business of it, that's going to help alleviate any of those stress or any of those problems that you might occur. And then you're going to learn life skills. And that's the biggest thing when it comes down to this.
Of course, man. Well, there's some great keys to success, man, and we definitely got to talk, more about that, man. That sounds super interesting, man. So I'm here to support whatever you got going.
Sure.
Well, I appreciate it, man. This has been legendary, man. It's been a lot of laughs. Memory lane with Alvin Williams has been crazy, man. I appreciate it. So people, it's your turn now. If y'all have any questions for Alvin Williams, start typing some questions now. And Al, as you see the questions pop up, you can just start answering them. I have a quick question. What are you currently doing right now? You I see it on your Instagram page. You kind of you're coaching or skills training, or what's something about the organization you're involved with now?
Yeah, do a little bit of skill training, do a little bit of that. Not much with, the COVID-19, things have been locked down. So pretty much just game planning. But right now, I just stepped away from a financial advisory firm for athletes. So now I'm in the process of starting a management firm for athletes, managing their day-to-day, their, possibly directing them with investing, financial solution, legality things, their brand and marketing. So it's a whole umbrella for athletes and creating just for them to create opportunities. And the other thing is spousal and sibling support with that athlete. A lot of times, athletes feel a lot of pressure from the household. And a younger brother may not want to be a basketball player, or a younger sister may not want to take the footsteps of that. So we're going to help provide opportunities for their siblings to create their own identity. If you are a pro athlete, we want to help your spouse, have her own identity. A lot of time wives or whatever, they get caught up in the mix of their husband or whoever lives that they're a part of, and things get lost, relationships get ruined. And I feel like, especially for young black men and young black women, if you have an opportunity like professional sports with that platform, those opportunities, along with the finances and resources, should bring our family together, not tear it apart. Money shouldn't tear our family apart.
That's right.
So for us to be able to create support, so that's what my initiative now. That's what my new company is going to be. It's going to create support for a holistic approach. So this money and this notoriety and all this crap that come with all this, it's not tearing us apart as a people, as a family.
No doubt, no doubt. What else? Mr. Shaw Jones said, from one of your biggest fans, why didn't you go overseas after the NBA, to continue playing?
I thought about it. I had a friend named Fred Warwick from Philadelphia area that was real good overseas and play overseas. My knee at that time wasn't ready. And I knew I wasn't going to fly 16 hours somewhere and get my ass sent back because my knee was bad. So that was the only reason. I wish I had have. So it'd be another life experience, but that was just a decision. Physically, I don't think I was ready when it was time, when my number was called over there. I had some opportunities, but physically I wasn't ready.
Gotcha. Did you were you able to completely rehab your knee and then you had no more issues with your knee, or what?
No, I still got issues. It's just one of those things where it's just going to be something for the rest of my life. I might have to get a knee replacement.
Okay.
But I'm not as active as I used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was something that's never fully healed. But I've had moments where it got back to a place where I could play at a higher level, though.
Got you. Ant-Man 2012 wants to know, did you enjoy? He has a two-part question. First was, did you enjoy scouting for the teams for those couple of years? How long did you do the scouting for Toronto?
So Toronto, I was player development and director of player development. So I ended up getting front office role where I was working with players off the court issues, family, anything. I was just helping them be like a sounding board through my experiences.
That's a pretty cool job, man.
Yeah,
almost
it is.
Like social worker, mentor kind of thing.
It is.
That's dope, yo. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was and I had some good. One person I stick out in there. Everybody knows DeMar DeRozan. I was there his rookie year, and one of the best people that you could ever work with. Got a chance, and we got a very good relationship still to today. And I did a lot with my other young buck, Kyle Lowry, man. Who those two people I've seen develop and grow into young men, family men, and fathers that it makes me proud, right? It makes me proud to see their success. So that was my job then. But as a scout, it was cool. I was a pro scout, so pretty much what I did was I would find, when you're a pro, they already know what you can do. They already have an idea of what you can do, but it's any information off the field, off the court? You know, do they have a drinking problem? You know what I mean? Their married life, are they religious? All those type of things, you know what I mean? Business ventures. Like, I would put all those things into a package, and then we would put that together when we did the whole scouting report. So I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. And I did some college scouting as well. It's a harder. You're on the road. You're in cities where you could be in Boise State watching Boise play, or Wichita. Yeah. So you could be in those type of stuff, but you can find a diamond in the rough. That was always something of mine that I enjoyed. So I enjoyed it.
My man J Mac wants to know how good was Master P?
Master P wasn't that good. No, Master P was all right. You know, he was an NBA. He was an NBA player. But I will say, man, the work ethic that he put, it's no reason why, it's no coincidence he's successful as he is, because his work ethic, man, he came in there humble as hell. He was a megastar when he was with Toronto. Like, we in the preseason games, played Atlanta and Dallas. He was more recognized than Vince, anything. Like, he was a mega. Vince and Tracy McGrady used to bow down to him. Like, he was the man. But he was in tip-top shape, humble as hell, and he didn't have to do that. That he showed the drive and the passion. It was just the fact that he just wasn't good enough. But he had the work ethic and the drive, man. And I tip my hat off to him, man. He showed me a lot during that little bit of time.
No doubt. That's awesome, man. Come on, people. We got a couple more minutes. Anybody have any last minute questions for Al Williams? And I got one more. You said it was special when, obviously it was special during your high school days. Your family went to all your games. Villanova, obviously they were close. I'm sure they went to a lot of games. But NBA, you're traveling around. How did you keep the family connection as far as, supporting your games? And, how was that experience for you? Or just, looking to the crowd and not seeing your family or not being able to hear them, for the first time in your life possibly?
Man, the first time when I got drafted, my first time going to Portland for the season, I cried like a baby, dog. I cried like a baby on that plane. I remember the flight attendant, "Sir, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right." If I would have told somebody I was crying because I was going to play on the NBA, they probably, "You fool." But I remember but during the game time, it wasn't nothing. Like, I'll talk to him. We talked almost every day. And when I came home to Philly, the Nets, New Jersey, the Knicks, DC, anywhere close, they would come. So,
gotcha.
You know what I mean? But it was just that first, when I was on a Portland, I didn't get home that much. But when I was in Toronto was an hour flight, so they could get there. So, I mean, it got over. And then at the end of the day, I ended up being 24, 25, 26 years old. So, it was all good.
Got you. Frauds don't last. My man wants to know, what are your plans moving forward with the Academy of Hoops?
Still keeping alive. As soon as everything, clear up a little bit with the pandemic and everything, we're going to start executing more. Want to get to more and more camps, tournament play, stuff like that. So I try to be innovative with that, because I know there's a lot of people that do a lot of workouts and they do a lot of things, especially in this area. And the one thing I don't want to do is confuse anything. Like, if you got somebody that's working with you, giving you a message or whatever the case may be, even though it's probably a universal message, then it's all good. But more so just from a business side and just from an understanding of getting in front of more people, I would like to do it on a bigger stage for its camps and stuff like that.
No doubt. Let me see. I don't see any more questions. I have a question I'd like to ask everybody. Of your experiences in the high school days, Sunny Hill days, summer league, hoops and all that kind of stuff, is there anybody that you remember? It's always one, somebody from back then that could have made it to the league or could have played college ball, but their legacy just ended in the playground with the summer leagues. They never went to college, never made pro because of circumstance, whatever. Is there anybody that you think was good enough but just never went farther than that?
High school, you always had the potential. So early, because back then, right, it wasn't one and dones. It wasn't
true.
It wasn't really it wasn't prevalent like that. So, but we had a guy, Rondell Turner, man. I mentioned him. He played at Gratz, and he was 6'7", and he had a nasty attitude. He had toughness. He had every skill. Could handle, could dribble, could shoot, could dunk it on you. He was one of those guys that was really good. We all got certain backgrounds, and Rondell grew up in a foster services, foster homes, and he just didn't have the same resources that we all had, right? But he was one of those players, man, that I definitely would put up there against anybody in the country, anybody coming out. So he was the guy that I would think of that was that person.
That's what's up, man. He definitely holds a special place in our heart. You know, me, growing up, being from Norristown, I think he went to, if I'm not mistaken, I think he went to my homie Darnell Carroll from Norristown went to Glen Mills. And but did Bump was at Glen. What, didn't Rondell have a trip at Glen Mills? Or I think he was at maybe at Glen Mills.
I don't think he had a try. I remember him being at University City in Gratz.
Well, I'm not sure. I know I guess he didn't play for Glen Mills, but he may have been there. Possibly, I'm not sure. But somehow he linked up with one of my homies. Long story short, he came up and played it in our summer league up in Norristown. So I got a chance to know him, and you know what I'm saying, he was with my guys in Norristown. So unbelievable talent, man. Unbelievable talent. Bump was, man.
Bump was one. And then, you know what I mean, he went to Gratz and came off the bench. So he sacrificed that, man. So he
was the leading scorer off the bench.
Oh man, he was coming along, man. Bump was coming along here and everywhere, man. It's just one of them things, man. Like it's just unfortunate, but he was that dude, no doubt.
No doubt. One last question. My man J Mac wants to know, was Paul Allen an active owner?
Yeah. Paul Allen was out that joint playing horse with me before games. He'd be out there. He was invited to his house. We used to have practice. I ain't never seen a crib like this in my life, but he was invited to his house when we used to go play the Sonics. Yeah, that's when I saw you Flip.
Yes.
So I seen that interview as well. Flip, my man. He was real active. He invited to his house, always around at all our games. He was a dope owner.
No doubt. That's pretty much it, man. We got about 1, 2, 3 minutes left, but any last minute things you want to say, man? Any shout outs you got before we tune out?
Man, shout out to you, man. Thanks for the platform, man. And it's always a pleasure to talk hoops. It's always a pleasure to talk Philadelphia, and especially the back in the day stuff. So it's always a pleasure, man. It's always good to have people recognize other people as well, man. And they use their platform to give other people shine. So it's nothing more gracious than that. So I thank you. And any way I can be a resource or helpful to anything you want, just trying to reach out to guests or whatever, I'll be more than happy to do that. So we'll definitely be in touch.
Definitely, I would greatly appreciate it. We got to get Cat Mobley on.
I see a John say, how good was Joe Newton?
Yeah.
Joe
You
Newton
can answer that. Go ahead.
No, he was dope. Joe Newton was dope. He was a man who could pass. They had all them athletes in West Philly, Al Horn and Lawrence Pembroke and Dev Baker. Joe Newton, he led that charge. Joe Newton was dope.
No doubt. But yeah, like I was saying, we definitely got to, I would love if you could help me get Cat Mobley on, man. If you could help me get Cat on, that'd be dope. I greatly would appreciate that. I'll get him scheduled for sometime in the future. That'd be dope.
For sure.
All right, but hey, just like I said at the top of the hour, man, thank you so much, man. God bless you and your family. Thank you for your time, man, and just appreciate you, going down memory lane with Big Star and Raw Sports, man. It's I can't say enough.
Sure,
man. Thank you, man.
No doubt. Thank you.
All right, and one last thing. This entire interview is going to be on my YouTube channel. So what we can do is once we get done with this, I'll DM you. I'll send you a private message with my cell phone. We'll just exchange information.
Okay.
And tomorrow when it's on YouTube, I'll send you the link to the entire interview when it's on my website.
Okay. I'm gonna get your number and call you because I rarely look at all the stuff. I'm a dinosaur, man. With all the stuff. So,
I got you.
I'm gonna get your number too.
Yeah, we'll connect, and then we got to talk about the future. The stuff you was talking about, the future. We definitely got to connect, man. So thank you. I look forward to building with you in the future. All right.
For sure. Thanks, man.
All right. Yep.
All right.